Hello everybody, it is Eileen here, and today I want to talk about something that has been a pretty big deal in the gaming world lately, which is the controversy around SR Florescent. She is a transgender woman competing in Valorant's Game Changers League. Now, if you're not familiar, the Game Changers League was created to give women and marginalized genders a platform in esports, a space that's historically been male-dominated. It's an amazing initiative that helped create lots of opportunities for players who often don't get the spotlight. But here's where things get tricky. Florescent is an excellent player, super talented and performing at an incredibly high level. But the fact that she's a transgender woman has sparked a huge debate about fairness. Some people feel that her background as a biological male might give her certain advantages, like faster reaction times or better physical attributes for gaming. Others argue that her identity as a woman should be respected and celebrated, regardless of biology. So why is this such a hot topic? It's because it hits on some really tough questions. How do we balance inclusivity with fairness? What does it mean to create a level playing field in esports? And how do we respect someone's identity without ignoring potential competitive advantages? Today I want to break this down. We're going to talk about biological differences, gender identity, and how other games handle inclusivity. Alright, let's start with biology, because this is where a lot of arguments begin. Science tells us that, on average, biological male tends to have faster reaction times, better hand-eye coordination, and other physical traits that can make a difference in competitive gaming. Now, this doesn't mean women can't be amazing gamers. There are also many women who are out there are crushing it in esports. And skill is about way more than just biology. It's about practice, strategy, and mental toughness. But the idea here is that these physiological differences, on average, might give someone like Florescent an edge when competing against biological women. And that's where the controversy starts. If you're a player in the Game Changers League, you might feel like you're up against someone who has advantages that aren't just about skill. It's not an easy thing to navigate, and that's why people have such strong feelings about it. Now, let's talk about gender identity. In today's world, it's important to respect people for who they are. Florescent identifies as a woman, and that's how she should be treated. But here's the tricky part. Does identifying as a woman completely remove the competitive advantage that might come from being biologically male? Florescent hasn't fully transitioned. She still have some physical characteristics like an Adam's apple that are tied to her biological sex. And this raises the question, is it fair for someone with those traits to compete in a league designed to uplift women and marginalized people? And this raises the question, is it fair for someone with those traits to compete in a league designed to uplift women and marginalized genders? This doesn't mean Florescent's skill isn't real. It absolutely is. She's an incredible player. I wish I was as good as her. But for critiques, it's not about skill. It's about whether the playing field is fair. And for supporters, it's about making sure everyone feels included, no matter their gender identity. It's a tough balance to strike. And the third point is, how can we be inclusive while keeping things fair? Take a game like Apex Legends, for example. They don't have gender-specific leagues. Everyone competes on the same stage regardless of gender. It's all about skill, teamwork, and strategy. Some people think Valorant should consider something like this. A system where everyone competes together, so there's no debate about who has an advantage or not. But on the flip side, leagues like Game Changers exist because women and marginalized genders have historically been left out of esports. If you remove that safe space, will it just go back to being male-dominated again? It's a tough call, and there is no one-size-fits-all answer. Now, let's talk about the other players in the league. You've got incredible talents like SR Noya, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, and SR Sarah, who are working their butts off to make a name for themselves. But when someone like Florescent comes in and dominates, it can feel like they're being overshadowed. For players who are cisgender women, this might be frustrating. They fought so hard to get to where they are, and now they're competing against someone who might have certain physical advantages. It's not about taking anything away from Florescent, it's about recognizing how this affects the other players in the league and their chances to shine. So where do we go from here? The whole situation with SR Florescent highlights just how complex inclusivity and fairness can be in esports. There are valid points on both sides and no easy answers. What's clear is that the gaming community needs to have these conversations. How do we create spaces where everyone feels welcome while also making sure the competition is fair? Maybe open leagues like Apex Legends are the way forward, or maybe there's a middle ground that we haven't figured out yet. At the end of the day, this is about more than one player or one league. It's about the future of esports and how we can make it better for everyone. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you think we can find the right balance? Thanks for sticking with me through this tough topic. It's not an easy one to talk about, but it's so important for the future of gaming. Whether you agree, disagree, or somewhere in the middle, your voice matters in this discussion. Let me know what you think, and let's figure this out together. I'll catch you next time.